Hello guys, this is Keith, the G, and I want to talk to you today about cleaning up your criminal record. Most people that have felonies, a lot of people only have one felony, a misdemeanor or two, whatever. Did you know you can clean up your criminal record just as easy as you could clean up your credit report? It is just that easy. You know, there's basically three types of cleaning up your record. You know, you have a pardon, which has to be granted by the president or governor of a state. Or you have an expungement, which is a civil case through the courts. Or you can have what is called a wobbler. A wobbler is where the courts reserve the right to convert the felony to a misdemeanor upon their discretion. So they can clean up your felony record and they'll convert the felony to a misdemeanor. So those are basically the three. But what most people talk about and hear about and know about is expungements. Clean up my record, seal my record. And that's basically what an expungement is, where they basically seal your records or erase it or seal it. Now, there's also cases in certain states where you can actually expunge your arrest record. Now, your criminal record is different from your arrest record, but you could actually expunge your, if you're arrested for something and you were not guilty, you can actually have that expunged also. So, and I'm telling you, it is as easy as 1, 2, 3. If most people out there knew how easy it was to clean up their felony record, you got all these people walking around with all these felonies and won't do nothing about them. They think it's some big, long, drawn-out thing. They think they got to hire a lawyer and all this kind of stuff. Now, let me say this. This is for entertainment purposes. And this is just from my knowledge and my experience in expungements and different things like that. I'm not an attorney, so let me put that out there. So now what I'm going to tell you, we can't say it's a guarantee because there's no guarantees. But I personally don't know of anybody that has done this that did not get their record expunged if they do it the right way. And I'm talking about it's just that easy. You could literally, in some states, you could literally get your record expunged and it'll cost you $75. The average cost to file this with the courts is anywhere from $75 to $200, and you can clean up your criminal record. One of the requirements is that, so let's deal with the expungement. So pardons, we don't want to talk about that because that's a presidential thing or a government thing. So expungement. As long as you haven't committed another crime, another felony since, and as long as you satisfy all of your commitments to that last particular criminal case, like all your probation is satisfied and whatever fines and fees that they've assessed, you've actually paid. So you have to pay those and have to be out of probation or parole or whatever it is that what kind of paper that you're under. So what you do is you get a copy of your case. If you're still living in the state, just go down to the Superior Court, get a copy of your case. If you're living in another state, call the Superior Court in whatever state that you have that particular case in and tell them to give you a copy of your criminal case if you don't have the paperwork, because you're going to need your case number. So, and all you're doing is when you do an expungement, what you're doing is you're petitioning the court and asking the court to grant you this, which is basically a petition, or in some terms they call it a motion. We're actually asking the court to grant you something or asking for something from the courts. In this case, you're asking for an expungement. And there's some sample forms out there. You can go right online and type in sample petition for expungement forms, and they'll give you a sample form from certain states. Now, I'm not certain if every state has that sample form in there, but you can use that same verbiage. You can even handwrite it, the actual form itself. You know, the verbiage and everything. I mean, you could. You don't want to send it to the court's handwritten, but you could take that sample and convert it over, and then use the same verbiage when you petition the court. Now, what you want to do is and it's just basically one or two forms, and they'll ask you certain questions, basic questions like date of the charge, date that you were released from jail, the case number. It's real self-explanatory. You just fill all that stuff out. Real simple. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need anybody. Just read date of birth, address, when was the crime committed, when did you get off probation, have you satisfied all your terms, and you just check the appropriate boxes. Now you want to attach a copy of your criminal case to the petition when you send it in to the courts. So just go online, find out what the filing fee is at the court. You tell them you want to file a motion or petition for expungement, and the clerk will tell you how much it costs. And then you may have to add a couple dollars, whatever, because they may have to certify it or whatever. And they'll tell you that if it needs to be certified, and the court will certify it. Submit a copy of your court case documents. I would submit a copy of my driver's license and ID, and of course my return address and all that stuff, information. And you put together a packet and submit it to the courts. That's as simple as that. And then, it could take a couple weeks. It could take 6 months. So if you do this and it's like 3-4 months, don't panic, because the courts are backlogged and there's a lot of things going on in that court system. So, and then yours is not going to take precedence because it's, something like that. So there's going to be a lot of things that come ahead of yours. But if it takes 4 or 5 months, I've seen it where it takes 6 months or so, maybe even take 7. So if you see that, don't panic. Okay. Now, once you get your notification from the courts, once they respond back to you and let you know that your rights have been reserved or your rights have been restored, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you contact the Justice Department in that state. You go online or go on the phone, whatever, and find the Justice Department in your state. Make sure that they have a copy of that judgment that the expungement that they've granted you. Because what happens is they have to notify Washington. So they have to notify the Justice Department in Washington, D.C. So it has to go through your city courts, your state courts. Then they notify the Justice Department in your state as to the ruling. Then your Justice Department have to notify Washington of that particular ruling. You got to make sure that your Justice Department in your state notifies Washington, because if it don't, you'll have a judgment and you'll have this expungement, and Washington doesn't know it. And every time you run a criminal check on you, you try to get a passport, you try to go buy a gun or whatever like that, it's not going to show. They're not going to know anything about it. So you got to make sure that all the appropriate parties know about that verdict. They have to know. So make sure, once you get the packet back from the courts, I will call the courts and make sure, I would ask them, hey, have you notified the Justice Department in the state? Because I want to make sure Washington gets a copy of this, our Justice Department in Washington, because it's your civil right. So they have to do that. So you may have to get on the phone and bug a few people because they take their time. You can get the judgment in 6 months, and it may take them another 6 months, a year, before they even let the Justice Department in Washington, D.C. know about that particular verdict because they're so backlogged. So here you think, oh, I'm good now that I got the judgment, I'm good. Then you go out and try to do something, and it's still flagging that you got a felony. So that's the big thing about it, is just making sure that they get a copy. So I need you guys to like this video. I need you guys to just subscribe to this video, because I got more stuff, more information for you. Low cost things that won't cost you anything, that you don't need a lawyer for, that you could probably handle yourself. A lot of things you can handle yourself. But I need you to share this with your friends. Anybody you know that's got a felony, anybody that you know is trying to clean their criminal records up, I need you to tell people about it. I need you to spread the word that people can clean their criminal record up for as low as $75 in certain states. So, I mean, we got to put this word out there, and there's no need for you to walk around with that felony when you can get that stuff solved with a little time, $75 and a little time, and you can get that stuff handled. And now you got all your rights restored, and now you can do all the things and you got all your rights that was taken away from you, and you can do all the things that any normal person would do without a felony. So, hey guys, like this video, give me some comments, let me know how it turns out for you. I'm going to do a follow-up video after this to add a little more stuff to it. But if you want me to talk about some other stuff, put it in the comments. But you got to share this with your friends. Anybody with a criminal record, tell them they can clean their criminal record up, get that felony off of there. As long as they haven't committed another felony, satisfied all the terms of the conditions of the probation or whatever it is they was put upon them, and paid all their fines. Filing fee, fill out that form, attach everything together, submit it to the court, and wait. And what else would be good? Just real quick, one other thing. Get a letter from somebody, even if you don't like a pastor of your church or a family member, just somebody that will write a good, favorable letter as to how you've been doing and what you've been doing with your life since that particular incident. Just a little, some kind of little letter, and it always be good from somebody at the church or somebody professional. But if you don't have that, just somebody, a brother or sister, anybody that's close to you that could vouch for how you've been doing since that particular incident. And attach all that stuff together, submit it to the court, wait time, and hey guys, you can get rid of that felony. So hey, it ain't as bad as you think. It's easy, but most people don't know that they can do that. Most people think it's so hard. Most people think they ain't got no money to hire a lawyer. You can do this without hiring a lawyer. $75 in certain states, $100 in one state, $99 in another state. Just call your state and ask them. And then a lot of times they'll have that particular form on file. So just call the clerk's office. Hey, you have a petition for expungement form, and they'll send it to you or email it to you or whatever, or fax it to you. And then you got the form. You fill that form out, attach that to your record, copy your license, and then referral letter from a friend or family member. Send that in with your money order, check, and wait. All right, guys? So it's easier than you think. So you don't have to walk around with that felony. So let me know. I would love to hear somebody say they did this and it worked. And just put it in the comments. Let me know. But I need you guys to subscribe. Subscribe. Okay? Subscribe, because I got more for you. Subscribe. Give me some comments and give me some likes, okay? Thank you, guys. All right, just keep the G. I'll get back with you guys, okay?